The Old Testament explicitly tells us that God is neither a man, nor the Son of Man. For this simple reason, it would be absurd to think that in the New Testament this same God came to earth as a man, and went around calling himself the Son of Man. Jesus Christ, who Christians regard as God in the flesh, never claimed to be God. Instead, he calls himself a man and Son of Man numerous times. This establishes that he could not have been the God who said he was neither a man nor the Son of Man. What about the authors of the New Testament? Did they ever try to teach that Jesus is God? The answer is no. The authors of Matthew and Mark referred to Jesus as a man and the Son of Man. Even after Jesus ascended to heaven, none of the disciples ever attempted to teach that Jesus was actually God. The Apostle Peter describes his master Jesus as a man. He also refers to Jesus as a servant of God. These facts establish that Peter never thought of Jesus as God. The Apostle John, who saw Jesus face to face for more than 3 years, writes that no one has seen God, thereby demonstrating that he could only have seen Jesus as a man and not God. Even Paul, who claimed to have received revelation from Jesus and wrote 13 out of the 27 books in the New Testament, never once refers to Jesus as God. Instead, he describes Jesus as a man and as a mediator between God and mankind. Paul identifies the Father alone as God, thereby excluding Jesus the Son from being God. He also teaches that God is distinct from Jesus and superior to him. If the apostles and Paul really believed Jesus is God and wanted to teach that idea, they would have done so. But they didn't. The simple truth is that Jesus was nothing more than a man. He was a very special man, and a great man, but a man nonetheless. He never called himself God. Instead, he called himself a man, and the Son of Man, precisely what the God of the Old Testament said he was not. The people who knew Jesus and wrote about Jesus never referred to him as God. Instead, they referred to him as a man and the Son of Man, and other titles that apply to humans, such as prophet, servant of God, Messiah, teacher, etc. Christians might argue that Jesus was called a man because he was God in the form of a man. They might even claim that Jesus was fully God and fully man. But these ideas are not taught anywhere in the Bible, not even by Jesus. Christians essentially want you to believe Jesus was God all along, but decided not to declare it. They also want you to believe that his followers knew Jesus was God, but stopped short of calling him God. The idea that Jesus is actually God in the flesh is pagan to the core. It originates not from the Bible, but from the imaginations of Christians who are bent on worshipping Jesus as God.